Hello, and welcome to this quick overview of the NetApp AltaVault appliance, the market-leading cloud-integrated storage solution for protecting data in the public and private cloud. In this video, we'll show you that setting up an AltaVault appliance with Microsoft Azure is an easy three-step process. The first step of deploying an AltaVault appliance is getting connected to a cloud provider. AltaVault works with a large selection of public and private cloud providers and encompasses over 90% of the cloud provider market. Microsoft Azure is a leading hyperscaler public cloud provider and will be using Azure Blob Storage for this demonstration. After logging into the appliance, we use the Cloud Settings Setup Wizard to connect to Azure. You'll select Azure and specify the subscription credentials and location to write the datasets sent by the AltaVault appliance. Next, set up an encryption key, and finally, apply the settings to perform the connection. AltaVault will validate the connection with Azure, and once done, become ready for use. Second, we'll need to expose a SMB or NFS interface to the backup infrastructure. We'll use SMB in this example. From the user interface, we'll go to the CIFS configuration page and add a share. Specify the share name and path where the data will be written, and then click Add Share. You can also configure CIFS access using local accounts or through Windows Active Directory. At this point, AltaVault is now ready to accept backups. The third step is configuring the backup application to drive data to AltaVault. The configuration of the backup application consists of adding a device that points to AltaVault. For example, NetBackup uses storage units, which we'll set as shown here. As you can see, AltaVault is identified by its CIFS share within this device. With the setup complete, all that remains is to perform the backup. To finish this step, we'll modify the backup policy to point to this device, and then perform a test backup to show operations. Now that the backup is running, let's switch over to the AltaVault console and look at the graphs of the operation. The first graph is the storage optimization graph. We can see that we're receiving data, deduplicating and encrypting it in line. The full dataset received and reduced dataset that is actually stored are visualized by the blue and red lines respectively. The green line at bottom represents the deduplication ratio achieved. Let's now take a look at the front-end throughput graph. The front-end throughput graph shows that we're receiving the backup as expected. Next, let's check on the back-end throughput graph. The back-end throughput graph shows that we're sending significantly less data to the public cloud provider. Next, the replication pending graph shows the pending data that AltaVault needs to stream to the cloud, depending on your connection speed. Finally, a look at the cloud operations graph shows the number of REST API operations communicated with the cloud provider to get the data across to the cloud. Switching to the Azure console, we can see that our data has been added to Azure Storage. This backup data is stored in a deduplicated and encrypted form and is now available for recovery, either through the original AltaVault appliance, an AltaVault appliance located at a DR site, or within Azure Compute using the AltaVault VM available in the Azure Marketplace. With that, this concludes this quick demo on using AltaVault. For more information, visit our page at www.netapp.com/AltaVault.